write the fraction, decimal, and percent for each shaded section of each shape. Now, this is a very important skill. One of the most important things that you have to learn is how to count and how to show a count. Let me describe. If I said in this first one, what is the fraction of blue? Well, because I said the word fraction, it means that you're going to give me two numbers. You're going to give me the number for blue, but then you're also going to describe it from what it takes to be whole. The top number is always what I'm asking you for, the numerator. The bottom number is the whole. So if I said, hey, what is the fraction of blue? Well, you would say, well, there's two of them. So I would say, okay, then you would put a 2 in the numerator position because that's how many blues are there. But then you're always describing what it is out of the whole. Well, that's 2 pieces. Out of how many pieces? Well, it looks like there's 5 pieces. So if I said, what is the fraction of blue? You would say 2 out of 5. Now, I like to use the words out of because it sounds like you're counting something. And that's kind of what we want to be able to do. You want to say 2 out of 5. It's very helpful. It really speaks to your brain when you hear the words out of, because then you say, well, it looks like I don't have 2 is not half of 5. And you can even see it with your eyes. Oh, it's not. So let me show you. This is our fraction. Now you're supposed to change this or show this fraction as a decimal. Again, remember, these things are division problems. This is 2 divided by 5. Never forget that. And 2 divided by 5 is 0.4. That's what it is as a decimal. Now, if I said, okay, well, let's go show this decimal now as a percent. Well, what we do with percentages is pretty simple. Once you have this decimal, you would actually take the decimal and multiply it times 100%. Now, let me show you the calculator and what's going to happen with that. So it's very helpful to see. If I took 0.4 and I multiply it times 100, oh, sorry, 0.4 and I multiply it times 100, watch what happens. I get 40. So what we would do is you would say this is 40%. Just like this. Now, let me show you. There's really what's going to happen is another thing is this. Every time you multiply something times 100, you're going to actually make this number bigger by 2 spots. So what I normally tell students is say, hey, once you have the decimal 0.4, you don't really have to put it in the calculator as times 100%. You can just say, hey, I know that number is going to get bigger because I have 2 tens or 2 zeros. So I'm just going to actually make it increase right now and move the decimal 2 spots, where this now empty spot right here is a 0. So really what I'm looking at is if I take 0.4 and I multiply times 100, that's really just going to make the number bigger. It's going to be 40%. And this thing works every time. Look, let's do it again. What if I said, again, what is the fraction of blue? Well, you would say 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 would be your, oh, sorry. Four would be your numerator. And what would be my denominator? 6. 4 out of 6. So if I said, good, what is that as a decimal? Well, we type it in the calculator. Point 6666666. Okay, that's a non-terminating repeating decimal. Remember that? You could show it like that. Remember the other way? Really weird. But if this is my number, 0.66666, and I want to show that as a decimal or as a percentage, I would still move the decimal 2 places to the right. Now, you have to remember, that's a bunch of 6s. So if I said, what's the percentage? You would want to say 66.6% repeating, or another way, which is the weird way, 66 and 4/6%. Later on, you'll learn about simplifying and show this as 2 of 3, 66 and 2/3%.